Ricky Vessels scored a sensational century, ending on a championship best 184 not out, as Nottinghamshire completely dominated the second day of their LV County Championship match with Sussex at a sun-drenched PROBIZ county ground. Vessels and his teammates started the second morning in the field, but only for 15 balls. Then Navid Arif drove Samit Patel to Ben Phillips in the deep to end Sussex's first innings on 309. Everybody knew that day two was going to be the one to establish just how good a total that was, and it soon became apparent that it was one well beneath par. Nottinghamshire's poor showing with the bat has been well documented this season, but this was the day that such things could be forgotten. On an ideal day for batting, Vessels opening the innings for the first time this season, and Alex Hales were soon putting runs on the board against a Sussex attack which could find very little help from a pitch on which their visitors had claimed 9 wickets on day one. Neither batsman offered a chance as they started to develop a very meaningful opening stand, making it to lunch unscathed with ease. Both went to their 50s after the break. Hales was their first off his 112th delivery, that shot bringing him his 9th boundary. And a couple of overs later, Vessels was there too. His was also reached with a 4, his 8th, and his 50 was slightly quicker, coming off 103 balls. All this had come from a side who'd really struggled to even reach 200 in their first innings in their first few matches, games they invariably still won. For some considerable time their problems have been at the top of the order, and this was their first 100 stand for the first wicket for 4 years. A big monkey was being removed from their back every time a shot from either Hales or Vessels scorched across the turf on its way to the ropes. Their partnership became the best for the first wicket by any First Division team this summer. It had reached 171 when, after 49 overs of trying, Sussex finally broke through, Monty Panesar producing a good one to bowl Hales for 80. It had to be a good one too. One wicket often brings another, and it should have done here, but Michael Lum was put down at slip off the luckless James Anyon. With the winter signings of Lum and James Taylor, and due to a broken finger, this was only the third match of the summer for Vessels, who now went to his second century in 5 championship innings. It was a wonderful knock too, with his ton coming off 145 balls, that being his 19th 4. His second 50 had occupied only 42 deliveries. He hadn't offered a chance either, and was still there at tea, by which time he'd added a 6 to his immense boundary count. He was soon past his previous championship best of 113, made last month against Worcestershire. On a very hot day, Vessels could have been excused if the conditions had got the better of him, but he obviously does like to be beside the seaside. He was still fit and hungry for runs, and was still going at a good rate. It's hard to think of many better innings this summer, even though others have made runs in slightly more testing conditions. Vessels went to his 150 with an enormous hit off Panesar, which crashed over the scaffolding by the press centre. That was his second 6 to go with 24 4s in a knock which had now lasted 206 deliveries. To their credit, the Sussex bowlers plugged away at the other end and were rewarded in the final session. Lum sliced a drive off Navid Arif to depart for 23 at 266 for 2. And when Chris Nash was called into action in the 76th over, he had success with his 5th ball, as Patel fished at 1 to be caught behind for 11. Nash also saw the back of Taylor for 5. The former Leicestershire man might have found some form with the England Lions, but he was left still waiting for a notable score for his new county when he was held at short leg by Joe Gatting. But this day was all about Vessels. He did slow down a tad as the day came towards an end, but he was still able to take his 4 count to 30, and by the close he'd scored 132 of his 184 runs in boundaries alone. He'd also taken his team into the lead, and by the close that lead stood at 11, with Notts on 320 for 4, with Adam Voges at the crease with Vessels for his first innings of the summer. Vessels needs 14 more for his highest ever score, and 16 for his maiden double 100. Nottinghamshire will still want a big lead too.